Okay. Hi, welcome to my studio. I'm Jess. I'm a collage artist and I'm super happy that you're here. I'm really excited because it's Februlage, baby. We're doing it. I don't feel super great, but we don't sleep on Februlage. We do the work. We have fun and we make some really cool collages. In this video, we're going to go through the first week. So first 7 collages. It is trees, shell, school, dice, chaos, metal, and neighborhood. So those are the 7 collages that I hope to try to get through today. We'll kind of see what happens by the end. And it's possible that I might skip 1 or 2 if I'm just really not feeling it, or I can't find pieces that feel like they make sense. To be honest, I have no idea how Februllage got started. I tried Googling it. It kind of tells me that it's just a month that people all do collage, and there's got to be someone though who started it. If anyone knows, definitely post it in the comments below because I think it'd be fun to learn a little bit more. But I found the maybe official Februlage list on social media, on the Instagrams, and I wrote all of them down so that I could just have a little list handy for myself someplace close by on my desk. And we're gonna get started on some of those collages today.
So it's been expressed to me that my thought process on some of my collages might be interesting to hear. I mean, that's sort of baffling to me, honestly. It's not that I don't like to hear other people's thought processes, it's just I sort of enter this flow state where I don't really know what I'm thinking about anymore. The thoughts are just so fluid and wild and sort of free associated that even if I'm trying to talk while I'm doing it, it just sounds like nonsense and I never finish a sentence. So I'm going to try to do a voiceover of my thought process right now, and I guess we'll see how that goes. So it starts by me looking through books, and in this case, I have my 7 prompts, and as I'm looking through the book, my mind is connecting the images that I'm seeing to those thoughts. Like right now, I'm cutting out a cityscape, and that is me thinking about neighborhood. And it's not something that I necessarily use for that purpose later, but as an example of what I'm thinking. And some of these I'm not really thinking about anything other than I just like the way that this looks, and so I want to pull it out just in case I can think of anything for it later. So now we're getting started with the concept of dice. I had looked through all of the things that I pulled out, and then I pulled out a few pieces that I thought made sense to go with that idea. I loved this image from National Geographic. I loved the bat, I loved the frog, and I loved the perspective. When I looked up the word dice on the internet, I saw this phrase, dice with death, and it brought to mind this idea of risky behavior. So that was really what I was going for here. It wasn't, a physical dice or, like how you might use dice in a game or something like that. I wanted to sort of play on this idea of risk and reward, which is why I had the bat attacking these people who were clearly out on some sort of expedition, right? Or they were doing something that felt vaguely professional / scientific. So I played with the placement of the bat. I ended up deciding to put the bat attacking the lady who was sitting down because the man was filming that lady. It sort of tickled me because of those internet videos where people are filming and not helping. And that's sort of what this made me think of as I was working. I didn't love that the wing was sort of sticking off the side, but it is what it is. So the next one is trees. And something that I was thinking about a lot with this concept was often human beings tend to be more dominant than trees. It's in the way that we interact with the environment. It's how we have a tendency to overtake natural spaces. And I know that this kind of is coming off as a little anti-human, but I don't know what to say. That's just sort of where my mind was going. So I loved the concept of pulling out these 2 travelers and how they're They were on a boat in the original image, but I wanted to sort of put them in a space where they were being observed. And something that made a lot of sense to me was to put them within this hiker vista scene. So the hiker is in the trees, and you would expect that they would be viewing this untouched landscape where the trees are the dominant feature, but rather than the trees being dominant, these exploring humans are instead. After finding a spot for them to live within the scene, which took a little trial and error, I decided I liked them a little bit closer in the foreground and not quite so far in the distance because I wanted to see more of their bodies. And there you go. Okay, shell was so hard for me to do. I had a few images of shells, but they were all shells but not shells, like this spoon that's in the shape of a shell. And I guess I was kind of thinking about that famous image of the goddess coming out from the ocean in the shell. I will find the name and pop it on the screen if I can. I don't know. I just kind of thought of that, and I loved that concept, and I don't think I really achieved what I was sort of seeing in my head, but I also didn't like it enough to keep playing with the idea. I don't know. I ended up not gluing it down, but that was my concept.
Hey, it's a new day. I'm continuing to work on Februlage, the first 7 prompts. I have some good ideas going for a few of the prompts, but I'm a little stuck on school and chaos and metal and neighborhood, which is 4 of the 7. So I've got a lot of work to do today. I'm excited for it. I'm still not feeling super great, but sometimes it's nice to focus on something like this because it helps time pass if I can get in the right headspace, and usually I can. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going.
All right, so initially I wanted to just bring these people closer to the spacecraft lifting off. And my initial idea was just to sort of cut off the bottom and sort of try to get them slightly visually closer. But that really didn't look like anything, so I continued with this idea, trying to bring them closer and closer to the blast off, even though they would be so much physically farther away, because in my head I wanted their proximity to create a little bit more connection. Okay, so I found this, and I like this idea. If I were to do this maybe, so that I can get that was weirdly right on the money. What if it's like that? What if I sort of put it behind this and he's like going into space? It doesn't really change the meaning, but it is a little bit more interesting, at least, than just this. So I don't know, that's what I'm thinking. All of these things are converging together to create a closer neighborhood in terms of like a cosmic scale. Metal was interesting. I didn't really find a whole lot of images that felt like metal to me, except for this one. And it was about women who were riveting during World War II in America. And they were working on metal, and I just thought that was pretty darn metal of them. But I didn't really know what to do with this image, and I'm not sure that I loved the final. What I decided to do was to put it on some black paper. Now, I'm not really sure why. I think it didn't work out as well as I thought it would. And then I have these little cutouts of what feels like electricity. And I don't know if I could tell you exactly what this means. It just felt really metal. And this is what I mean when I say sometimes I really don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know. They're working on metal. They're pretty metal, and the shit inside their head is metal too. I don't know. I didn't love this one, but there you go. I liked this one a lot. School was hard to find something that felt school-ish. I did find this image of women performing music, and I know that a lot of women before, modern times, their schooling was limited to the arts. So in this collage, I'm really just trying to showcase this inner world that learning and music can evoke. It's using that same texture that's from the metal one with a similar idea behind it of this sort of inner world exploding outward. Chaos was the last one to work on, and it was probably my fastest one. I initially thought I was going to do something with lots of pieces and just sort of evoke a feeling of chaos, but really what I think is so frustrating and interesting sometimes about being human is how much we don't like chaos. Oftentimes the way that humans react to chaos is not to embrace it, but rather to try to contain it. And at first I wanted to do a bear, but he was too big, and I decided to use a goat head because he was an off-cut piece that I had. There's a little bit of evil imagery. We try to envelop the natural world and contain it, and that's what that was about.
Okay, so I have finished the first 7 collages of Februllage. I really enjoyed this challenge so far. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you had a favorite one that I worked on, or if you had a different idea as you were thinking about the different prompts. Let me know, because I think that that's always fun to kind of hear about. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. What was your favorite? And if you haven't yet, like and subscribe, that'd really be cool. Okay, bye. See ya. Bye.